Hi guys! Welcome to our first discussion of Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. We are going to be doing a series of miniature short discussions throughout the day and this afternoon, talking about our first bonded book club read, Bad Feminist. I'm very curious wondering what you guys thought of Bad Feminist and if you enjoyed it, what you thought about Roxane Gay's discussions. The cool thing I thought about this book, sorry, I have Tucker walking around on my court. I apologize. The cool thing I thought about this book was that it was written in an essay format, which made it really easy to read. Roxane Gay has a really interesting writing style in that it's sort of like talking to a friend, like talking to somebody at a cocktail party. It was such an easy read. I really just sort of blasted through it, finished it in a really quick period. And what I think that I will take away from this book is how I can go back and reference it on so many topics so easily. I have notes and highlights and margins and tabs, and it's going to be one of those books that I go back to over and over again. So today we're kind of going to be talking about a variety of topics, not all of the topics from the books, but ones that sort of stood out to Sam and myself. And our first discussion today is going to be on being a bad feminist in general and what that means. So in Bad Feminist, Roxane Gay ascribes to what she calls bad feminism, wherein people are allowed to learn, make mistakes, and evolve and not be perfect human beings as it relates to being a feminist. She openly points out her feminist failings and her contradictions throughout the book, such as that she likes to listen to music that arguably degrades women. Sometimes I do too. She likes the color pink. She wants to be taken care of, and she likes to read books and watch movies that arguably reinforce gender stereotypes. All of these are things that, in theory, feminism aims to prevent or work against. At one point during her introduction, which is on page 10 if you're wanting to follow along in the book, she says, "I openly embrace the label of bad feminist. I do so because I am flawed and human. I am not terribly well versed in feminist history. I am not as well read in key feminist texts as I would like to be. I have certain interests and personality traits and opinions that may not fall in line with mainstream feminism, but I am still a feminist. I cannot tell you how freeing it has been to accept this about myself." So I wanted to go through a series of just short Q&As, and I would love to hear y'all's thoughts and opinions in the comments, and I'm going to give my short answer. Obviously, there could be really long, drawn-out answers on all of these, but I sort of wanted to hear y'all's thoughts, so definitely comment in the comment section, and we will follow along and maybe provide some input as well. First question is, what is a feminist to you? There are a lot of different definitions of feminism. I think, to me, my definition of a feminist is someone who wants economic, political, and social parity for everyone, including women. I think the definition of feminism has broadened as people have begun to understand the need for intersectional feminism, that it's not just white feminism anymore. We need to be including a lot more people and concepts in the definition of feminism. There's a lot on the internet about this. You can go read for days on it, but I'd love to hear what you think is your definition of feminism. Comment in the comments below. My second question is there such a thing as a good or a bad feminist? And this is really the crux of the book, I feel like. And my answer is, in true lawyer form, not necessarily, but maybe. I think that there's a huge difference between your entertainment preferences, as are kind of outlined in the book Bad Feminist, and actively working to remove people's basic human rights. So the entirety of Bad Feminist is basically Roxane Gay giving us her thoughts and opinions on cultural items and why that makes her a bad feminist. And I think that's all really important. But I also have seen a lot more conversation about, women who subscribe to pay equity and gender equality in a lot of certain contexts, but actively work against, removing people's choices as it relates to their body. And so I think we could kind of get into a really good debate about what a bad feminist is as it relates to a lot of policy matters. It's hard for me to call someone a bad feminist as it relates to their entertainment preferences. Personally, you may think differently. I would love to hear what you think. My third question is, regardless of what you think as it relates, whether you think someone is a bad feminist or a good feminist or whatever, does this leave room for critique? Is critique still in the equation? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. Part of embracing more people into the feminist fold is allowing people to make mistakes and learn from them, and I think that's really important. But as we do that, we also have to be accepting of criticism and be willing to understand our shortcomings as they relate to feminism. Not everyone was born knowing these concepts, and I fully understand that, but criticism is a big part of being a feminist as well. I'd love to hear what you guys think, comment, and we'll be participating and letting you know what we think as well. And tune in at 1 o'clock for Sam's next video. It's gonna be really interesting and awesome. And if you can't tune in live, you can watch these later on throughout the afternoon. And I'm gonna be posting the questions in the text of the video too, just in case you can't watch. See y'all later, bye.